Tonight, I'm going to continue with what we started actually 3 weeks ago, because the last 2 weeks I wasn't here. I was away in Dallas, and then I was away in seminar. But Baruch Hashem, I'm glad to be back. And we will continue with few lectures that I wanted to speak about emunah, about faith, about confidence in Hashem. When you search today, carefully, what is going on in the world today, you're going to find something very, very interesting. Almost in every problem that the people have today in the world, if you're going to dig to search for the source of the problem, for the root of the problem, it's always going to come down to the same root, always. One problem, not two, one. Always the same problem. Who knows what it is? Of course, the subject that we have to speak about tonight. Lack of faith in God. No faith, no emunah whatsoever. What do I mean by that? I'll make a test with you. Any problem that a person has in life, you can throw it, and I'm going to show you that it's a problem of emunah. Depression, you should know that since 1960 until today, 47 years, the number of the depressed people in the world grew 10 times more. Which means we have today, in less than 50 years later, we have more than 10 times more depressed people. If it's going to continue to grow like this, that means in another 50 years we're going to have 100 times more. Which means eventually almost every person in the world will be depressed. Now when I say depression, it could be a month depression, it could be a year, it could be years. Sometimes people get into depression, they never come out of it. What's the source of problems? Agony, pain, jealousy, sadness, anger, stealing, pride. Everything connects to the same thing. Lack of confidence in Hashem. All the marriage problems, almost all of them, is because of no emunah in Hashem. If people have emunah in Hashem, they know everything that happened for good, and Hashem send them the test, they will never bother with terminating the relationship. Whether his wife is nice to him, whether she's not so nice, he will take it as a part of the test that he has to pass in this life. Not only he wouldn't be upset, he will be very happy that now Hashem put him in this test, he has to pass the test. Bottom line, to make long story short, if we take a person 70 years old, that worked all his life very, very hard, and he will agree now when he's 70 years old, you will come to him and give him a glass with medicine and say, Mister, we know you've been very successful in your businesses, we know you've been very wealthy, you have, let's say, about $100 million in your account. We're offering you the magic, the wonder, the magic medicine. What is it? If you drink that, you will never have worry, agony, pain, stress, jealousy, a confidence problem. You're never going to be insecure. You'll be very satisfied, and you will have perfect happiness with one glass of medicine. But the price for that will be $99 million. So he has $100 million, and they're offering him after 70 years in order for him to live for the rest of his life, which nobody really knows how long it's going to be. It could be a year, it could be 5 years, it could be 10 years if he's lucky. אם בגבורות 80 שנה, let's already consider more as a gift, as an extra years. After 70, every day of your life is extra. Up to 70, it's average. Got to 80, that's already gvurot. That means it's a bonus. I'm not talking of those who make it to 110, 120. They already have a combination of bonuses, one after the other. But we're talking someone 70 years old. They're offering him all the list of the things I say. Perfect happiness, no anger, no agony, no pain, no jealousy, no worry about anything, no stress. Bottom line, peace of mind. 100% peace of mind. Happiness. This is what everyone searched for all their life. For $99 million. The answer would be, of course. What life worth without happiness, without peace of mind? Most people are going out of their mind from their lifestyle. So the point is like this. We have in our Torah a shortcut. It's very, very fast and it's very, very cheap. Mamash, an opportunity of a lifetime. 1 month of serious study when it comes to emunah, 1 month, serious study, few hours every day, push it into your subconscious constantly, and you will have $99 million in your pocket. Because you would pay any amount of money if you had to get to peace of mind. So comes the Torah and say, pay attention. If you're going to have confidence in me and you know that everything is by me and I supply you with everything you have and you never worry about tomorrow, nobody in the world will be happier than you. What's the key to gain happiness? The more your emunah is growing and become more substantial, your happiness constantly is growing. It's parallel. This and this going together. One depends on the other. Most of our problem comes like this. If you bought a computer today, the computer, it's only the hardware. Now you have to put in the software. You're going to decide what combinations the computer will be able to do for you. If you want, for instance, you want to do math in a computer, so it needs software for math. If you want an engine to search for things, so you need either connection to the internet, you need to put some kind of software in order for the computer to be able to function in this way or that way. That's up to you. However, if you're putting a software with a bug or a virus or as a mistake, whoever programmed that software made a mistake, small, simple mistake, then the computer freezes. The computer doesn't work. The computer will not fulfill the functions that it was made for. The computer can be a $5,000 computer, a very, very good computer that just came out, whatever, with all the extra technology that they make every day, something new. Problem with the software, the computer is really worthless. I don't have to tell you that sometimes people just bought a computer, 1 or 2 emails, the virus went on a computer and destroyed it. That's it. Computer cannot be fixed. Why do I tell you the story about a computer? Because in our life, our brain is the hardware, it's the computer, and what we are pushing into the computer, that's the software. The problem that we have right now is that the brain is a robot. He doesn't know anything. He's programmed in a certain way to work. What you push in, this is the way it works. So I'll give you an example. If you're going to talk to your brain every day and say, I'm lonely, I'm miserable, my life is worthless, this, all the time you're going to say it, the information goes into your computer is, you're in a serious problem. So what's the way the computer reacts? The computer reacts in agony, in pain, in stress, white hair, nerves problem, anger, all kinds of things. If you're going to say to the computer, oh, I lift very heavy boxes, I hope I didn't hurt my back, the computer gets nervous and the computer starts sending through the nerve system pain into the back. Why it sends pain? Because this is the way God made it. God made a computer to function in trillions of combinations. How is it going to work? It depends what information you push in. Most of our problems in life is that we let the computer receive the wrong information, and that's now a chain reaction. Since we pushed into our computer a lot of nonsense information, very serious problems, it's a chain reaction. We suffer constantly. For instance, when we went to school, the genius teachers that we had told us that life is about luck. Mazal. Everything is coincidence, luck. You got to be lucky. If you be a thief, make sure you don't get caught. If you do this, the way they taught us about life was everything against the truth of life. Nothing but the truth over there. There was no truth over there. Over the years, we constantly push the wrong information into the brain. So the brain is functioning according to the information we put in. For instance, when we left the house in the morning and we got to an accident, the computer automatically sends the message that if you would leave 5 minutes later, it wouldn't happen. But that's nonsense. It has nothing to do with what time you left. It was all planned because Hashem wanted you to have that test. Since the computer doesn't have the ability to send you the right information, because you never enter the right information, because you don't believe, when you enter the information, you enter it into your brain that this accident is coincidence. Somebody stole from you, you have to take revenge on him. He's the thief. You got to go into a war with him. You got to take him to court. You have to fight with him. You have to break his head. You must do something about it. You send him the mafia to collect. This is the way you've been trained all your life. So the way your brain is working is that you walk in a world with millions of enemies around you. Every person is a potential enemy. However, for instance, if you would educate your brain that nothing in this world can hurt you but yourself, everything that happened to you, you actually cook and now you have to eat, then right away nobody in the world will be your enemy. You would not have a problem with one person all your life. Why? Because this person is a shadow, is nothing. It's dust in the wind. He took a gun and shot at me. It wasn't really him. Hashem shot at me right now to wake me up. I lost my money. Hashem sent his hand and took the money out of my pocket. How did he do it? Through that guy. Why Hashem himself didn't come and take it from me? Because the way Hashem runs the world is like a game hide and seek. Hide and seek. You know how the kids are playing? They're hiding, and one has to find them. So if a person is hiding very well, you can never know he's around. But he does things behind your back, but you don't know he's around. Same thing, this is the way Hashem is playing with us. Why Hashem does it to us? When Hashem created the world, he wasn't really hiding. He was open and in front of everyone. In the Exodus of Egypt, people heard his voice, people saw the miracles. Moshe took a piece of wood, threw it into the water became sweet. People saw right away Hashem is around. Later, the Torah says, Bayom ha'u aster astir panai mihem. There will be a time that I will be so disgusted by the way you behave, where at that moment on, I'm going to go and hide. You're not going to be able to find me unless if you're going to search very, very severely. You're going to have to check. You're going to have to work very hard to find me. And this is the lecture tonight. How do you find Hashem? So we have to go back to square one. First of all, when we ask about the purpose of the creation, why did Hashem create this world? It's a very complicated question. Thousands of pages were written about that, and until this moment it's not 100% clear. But the little that we know is one of the most important things that we must know. Without it, we have no point to live. Life is worthless without it. Is that Hashem is anxious, if we can use that word, anxious that his children will be very close to him. But there is a rule, there's a system here. Even though the father is very anxious that his son will be close to him and depend on him and speaks to him in every moment of his life, whether he's in a car, whether he's in a shul, whether he's on the road, whether before he closes his eyes, whether he's in a business, before the meeting, after the meeting, in every second that's possible, instead of wasting his time reading newspaper or watching sport and all the nonsense that people do today in today's life, Hashem is anxious that you speak to him. Call him, scream to him, cry to him, beg him, ask for help, only from him. That's one thing that Hashem is very anxious. Second, Hashem is very anxious that you will recognize that there's nothing but him in this life. Nothing. All the people are here, it's all an illusion. Nobody can hurt you, nobody can steal a penny from you. and nobody can either harm you and nobody can help you. It's all an illusion. What you really think that the messenger found you a job, it's nothing to do with him. Hashem gave him a gift. What was his reward? That Hashem gave him an opportunity to be a good messenger and find you the job. But Hashem did everything. He was only the postman that came and served you with the paper. If you won the lottery, the postman come, knock on your door, here, sir, we have good news for you. If God forbid you have a tragedy, the postman knock on your door, he serve you the paper. In either way, he does not deserve too much of a credit. He is only a messenger. The problem that we have today, that we think that the messenger does 90-95% and Hashem does 5%. It should be the other way around. It should be 99.9% we understand that Hashem does everything. The messenger does one drop. One drop. And therefore, if we understand that Hashem does everything, we won't waste too much time on a messenger. We won't be extra nice to him. We won't pretend. We won't beg him. We won't call him 10 times and beg him and leave messages. If he gave you a check that bounced, you would call once, and if you see play games, you will never call again. Why? Because you know he has nothing. He's just a puppet. There's nothing here. Hashem bounced my check. I have nothing to do with this idiot. Don't beg him. Same thing with the policeman on the road. You will never beg him, don't give me the ticket, please. I'm going to have points. My insurance will go up. Everything in our life will be different. The truth is that if people would live with confidence in this world, the world will be a very sweet place to be in. Rule number one, you will not have poor people. Why? All the billionaires that keep all the money for themselves will share to everybody. The Jewish nation has more money than they need. Way more. The problem is that the 5, 6, 7, 10% of the billionaires that got hundreds of millions or billions or sometimes even more than that, they give a little bit and they keep almost everything to themselves. Why they keep everything to themselves? Because their psychology is that I don't have enough. I'm in a competition with all the others. Very rarely we find somebody that make billions and give almost everything out and leave himself just enough to live comfortable life. Very rarely, few in a generation. You can count them on one hand. He should have been with every billionaire like this. The billionaires unfortunately had a lot to learn from this guy, Gates, that already been giving out billions. If they behave like this guy, the Jewish nation will be in a very good condition. You would not have any beggars on the street. Nobody would have to have problems sleeping at night. There will be foundations. There will be kosher rabbis handling those foundations. Every poor person will have problems, will get a budget. Everybody will have comfortable life. Why are we suffering so much? Because the 10% stole all the money from the 90%. That's another problem. Second, people would live, if the world would have confidence, you would not have any thieves. No murderers, no angry people, no problems in traffic, no jealousy. Nobody would harm anyone, no revenge, no court, no problems, no lawyers. The doctors would hardly have what to do. Most of the jobs that the doctor have today is people panicking. Really, the truth is that only in very rare cases you need to go to the doctor. Today, every little beep that the baby makes, the mother is already 3 hours by the doctor. Every 2-3 days she's by the doctor. That's lack of confidence. No confidence in Hashem. The doctor will save my son. He has a fever. He has ear infection. Every 2 days she's by the doctor. A little bit more confidence in Hashem, nobody needs doctors hardly. Only when it's really no other way, then the Torah gave permission to go to doctors. Another way the world would be a very good place to be here is that people would live very modest life. Nobody would like such comfortable life in this world because everybody would understand that what Hashem promised, that the real life will start only after death. Nobody would waste so much time of building buildings here and pretending that he is the king of the world and going into vacation and another vacation and buy a boat. All this nonsense will disappear from the face of the earth. Even the goyim wouldn't waste time on it. So I'm just giving you a few examples. Because we enter the wrong information into the brain, the world is a mess. No order, agony, pain, crime, problems. Almost every person is a liar. almost, if you look at the average person today, he says in the average day more lies than truth. Every day. Almost every phone call is a lie. Almost every salesman is a liar. So many people are living in a lie. People are phony. People are forging. People are lying. People are pretending. All this comes from what? No confidence in Hashem. No confidence in Hashem. Confidence in Hashem? Why should I pretend? Why should I steal? Why should I lie? Why should I pretend? Why? It's against me. I'm going to be punished to get punished in the end. All that show that I put, even though it looks right now I was very successful pretending and the person fell into the trap, eventually I'm going to lose big time. It's only an illusion that is successful because it is a part of the free choice. Where is the proof in the Torah that Hashem is very angry on a person that doesn't have confidence in him? Who knows? Where? There's a story in the Torah that leaves no doubt. Yosef is one example. Where else? Who else? Who knows? Moshe. That's already questionable. Go ahead. Yaakov, it's another example. Avraham, it's another example. But there's a best example. I want to ask you a question. A person that works and put aside money for saving. He has a saving plan, IRA, whatever you want to call it. A person that saves money, he does a positive thing or negative things? Pretending the future of his children. What do you think? A person makes $10,000 a month, it costs him $7,000 to live. What does he do? He takes $3,000 every month and put it in a saving, in a safe, in a bank, in a special saving plan. Is this a mitzvah or is this an avera? Or none? None of them. What do you think? Huh? What do you say?
Depends where he's putting it. He's putting it towards
the truth is, this is a reason for Hashem to be very angry at you. Where do we see it in the Torah? When Hashem said, every day I'm going to give you enough man, enough bread for what you need. Do not keep anything for tomorrow. Not for another 10 years, for the next 5 years, for the 30 years plan. For tomorrow, another 5-6 hours you keep for the next meal. Now it's night. Now, right, we are on Sunday night now. It's already Monday according to Judaism now. So now, if 5 hours ago, before the sunset, 3 hours ago, we had enough man, we have leftover, we wanted to eat dinner. So we put a little bit, we put a quarter pound of man for tomorrow breakfast. You know what happened? You come in the morning, it was full of warm and green mold. What do you call it? Mold. Why? What's the problem? What's the crime? A person leaves a little bit for tomorrow. Hashem say no. By doing such a thing, you show that you have no faith in me. That you think I'm a liar. That what I promise is not the truth. It's a big thing. Now tell me please. It sounds that I'm maybe not normal, but that's in the Torah. You cannot argue with that. There's such examples in the Torah that when a person always worries about the future, he is automatically very far away from Hashem. And now what happened as results of that? As results that the person is worried what's going to be tomorrow, and we all worry, let's not lie, but one worry more than the other. Some people worry more, some people less. Some people cannot leave their cigarettes and they're shaking all day because they worry how are they going to pay the mortgage in 2 weeks. And some people say, well, Hashem Yazor. They begin to pray to Hashem and the miracles happen. But the point is like this. Not to have a worry, your life is mamash heaven already here, before you even go to the next world. If you don't have anything to worry about, and you know whatever happened, I'm not going to kill myself. What does it mean? I have money to pay the mortgage, beautiful. I don't have, what's going to happen? They're going to put me in the street? Very good. Why very good? Because Hashem wanted it. If Hashem didn't want it, He would not let me go on the street. Since now I'm in the street in the freezing weather, Hashem wants me in this situation. Hashem wants me in this situation. Hashem promised in the Torah that in any given moment you're always going to get the best. What's best for you. However, we have a problem here. I want to ask you a question. A person that has an open heart surgery and he loses 6 months of work and he go bankrupt. And when he gets out of the hospital, he can hardly move, he cannot find a job, he has about $100,000 money that he owes people, and comes the rabbi to his house and say, hey, I want to tell you, this is the best thing that could happen to you. I'm mamash jealous with you. So the guy would say, listen, if you came to make jokes at me, I'm not interested. But the truth is the rabbi really didn't lie. Why? Because he only told him what Hashem says in the Torah, that Hashem, Kol man de'avid rachmana latav avid. Everything that you get from Hashem, whether you like it, whether you understand, whether you don't understand, whether you don't like it, it's the best thing that could have happened to you at that second. On that moment, on that hour, nothing in the entire world could have been better for you. You cry, you upset, you sit on the floor, you have no energy to get up in the morning. Why? Because your life looks black, clouds around you, you don't see the light in the end of the tunnel. At this moment, nothing could have been better for you. The fact that you don't understand that it's good for you, obviously you understand that we are limited. We have no way to know what's good for us, what's bad. Some of us thought that our life is great until one day we found out there was all illusion. Some of us thought that our life is terrible until in the end we realized that it was the best thing happening for us, but we just didn't realize. So nobody can swear that what he is going through right now is really going to be productive in the end. There's no way to know. Only Hashem, after many, many lives, will prove to you that in any moment, if it would be indifferent, your life would be a million times worse. So the question is, when the Rav told him all that things, after he came up from the hospital, so he should be now happy or he should be upset? Depend. Now, for sure, the thing that happened to him was the best thing that could have happened. The best. However, there's one thing he should be upset about. What sins did I made that Hashem needed to send me 6 months to the hospital to clean those sins? Obviously, Hashem could have reacted in a much worse way. And Hashem chose right now to give me with His mercy that this is what I need. It could have been a lot worse. But I brought it to myself. I got to be upset. What I brought to myself, it could have been better. Now since it happened, it's too late. What's the solution? Tshuva and prayer. There's nothing else you can do. You have to pray to Hashem to ask for forgiveness, and you always have to ask in every open second of your life. I'm telling you, it's not fanatic, it's not too much. It's the minimum that a person that wants to be righteous has to do every day. Talk to Hashem hours every day. On traffic, you're an hour on traffic, you know how many psalms of Tehillim you could have said in that hour? You don't have Tehillim, you speak to Hashem in your own language. Why do you worry? You're alone in a car, nobody listens. Don't worry, you don't have a tape under the chair. You listen, you talk to Hashem, you go on a bed, before you go to sleep, you say Shema Yisrael, you have about 5-6 minutes until you fall asleep. It's a great opportunity. You're on the way, you're on the bus, anywhere you are, in any opportunity, you know how life becomes better. Because right now, you are connected. You are connected to the Master of the Universe. If you don't talk to Him, you already have a big problem. Now, some things in life needs little prayers, some things needs a lot of prayer. There are certain things in life, you pray 1 hour, you get it. Some things in life you need to pray 50 hours. Some things in life you need 500 hours. Certain things in life you can pray 40 years until Hashem agrees to give it to you. However, what happens if a person pray for something that for that Hashem decided in order for him to get it, he needs to pray 2,000 hours. And the person over his life pray not 2,000 hours, 1,800 hours, and he died. What happened to the 1,800 hours? Each word is a huge reward. To lose, there's no way to lose. No matter whether you got it, whether you didn't get it, the actual prayer is a mitzvah from the Torah. You open up the Rambam, there's a mitzvah to every Jew at least once a day to have a private conversation with his Creator. If one day passed and he did not pray, he violated the rules like not putting tefillin. Same thing. The text in a Siddur, it's all from Rabbanan. But the obligation to pray at least once a day, every Jew, female, male, everybody has this obligation to speak to Hashem. You don't have Siddur, you speak to him in your own language. You in jail, you don't have Siddur, even there you can speak to him in your own language. No matter where you are, whether you have Siddur, whether you don't have Siddur, you always can earn trillions just by talking. You're on the road, you walk on Shabbat. Somebody invited you, it's 20 minutes walk. Most people in the world, what do? Walk, looking around, looking at stores, listening to the cars, smelling the smoke of all the buses. There's another way. This person walked 20 minutes and he walked 20 minutes. He walked 20 minutes, he said Tehillim all the way. Every step he made, he was earning mitzvot every step. You don't know Tehillim? I assure you, you know. You pray every day. Almost all the prayer is parts from Tehillim. You don't need, you can say the same Mizmor 50 times. Shir LaMa'alot everybody knows, right? You don't know anything else, you say Shir LaMa'alot 50 times. Huge reward. Walking and earning at the same time. You never thought of it. You walk, what do? Nothing. Speak to your friends, walking around, looking around, half sleeping. You walk on the way to shul, you can say Mizmorim. No matter what you say, you can earn non-stop. The actual mitzvah of being close to Hashem, it's affecting your life tremendously. But it gets even better. There's a big question, how confidence affects our life. I already mentioned that it saves us from pain, it saves us from agony, it saves us from heart attack, it saves us from so many sicknesses, it saves us from anger, it saves us from depression, it saves us from have to be a liar, it saves us from arguments, from fights, for all kinds of problems. It can save us right away. With 1 month of efforts to elevate our level in confidence, our life can be sweet, mamash sweet. Peace of mind, everything. But it's something even better than this. Did you ever know that everything you can get in life, it's 100% in your hand? Did you know that? People happen to think, listen, I want ABC, and Hashem want DEF. רבות מחשבות בלב איש ועצת השם תקום. There's many thoughts in the mind of a person, David HaMelech right, but always the advice of Hashem will go through in the end. However, we should know one thing. According to the level of the confidence that you have, this is how fast you're going to get what you want. Even if you're not so righteous, just the fact that your confidence in Hashem, that Hashem will not let you down, and He's going to listen to what you speak, and He's going to give you what you want. If you show Hashem that you have nothing but Him, you're not begging anybody, you're not killing yourself, you're not working 3 shifts, you're not working until midnight. You say to Hashem, first of all, Hashem, what needs to be done? Now I have to pray, I have to pray. After that I have to learn, I have to learn. I have an appointment, I'm losing money, I'm losing business, that's nonsense. Nobody in a history ever lost a penny or anything that you can call it a loss by listening and doing the wish of his God, of his Creator. It's impossible. Hashem is not worse than us. If somebody is doing everything we tell him, if we have a business and we have an employee that listens and is very faithful to us, he does a lot for us, he gives up some of his free time, he stays in his lunch break sometimes when he sees it's very busy, he cleans even when we don't tell him, he is trying to satisfy us as we are the boss, he is trying to satisfy us very much, even when we're not asking him to do it. What's our reaction gonna be? We want to harm him or we want to benefit him? What's the common sense? Even if we're not such good people, even if you're not a good person, even if you're cruel, even if you're arrogant, whatever you are, just the fact that you have 2 employees and one is trying very hard and the other don't care, you want to benefit the one who is doing for you, no matter who you are. You agree? Even if you're goy, even if you're criminal. This is the minimum of the reaction that we should have. Are we going to think that Hashem is worse than us? We are so far from being perfect, we're going to react measure for measure. You're good with me, I'll be good with you. You'll be bad with me, maybe I'll be bad with you, which is also bad. But the fact that if you be very good with me, it's going to be very difficult for me to return bad to you. I have to be very ungrateful to return to you bad for the good you did for me. Am I better than God? Common sense. I'm not talking about the promises in the Torah hundreds of times that Hashem will reward all his followers 100% without leaving a drop out. Everybody gets in the end what he deserves. I'm not talking about the promises. I'm just talking common sense without Torah. A person just born today never heard of the Torah. He knows he has a creator because he sees the world. He knows somebody is running the show here. It's obvious. And what's going to be now? I'm going to do positive things for humanity, and I'm going to lose because of that? It's impossible. Nevertheless, when the Torah comes and say, my friend, the more you do for me, the more I record and put in your file. There will be a cash out day. One day I'm going to come and reward you in your end. The Torah says, "La'atifcha ba'acharitecha," to reward you in your end. When is it going to be the end? Only Hashem knows where. But one thing we know, that there's a promise. So that you should know, remember again, a person first has to do what needs to be done. Later, if he has time left, he's going to work. He's going to make meetings, he's going to make some efforts. But as long as he fulfills his obligation, whether he's a man, whether he's a woman, plus if he's going to have some time for business, do business. You hardly have time for business, so you work 2 hours a day. It's a big mistake to think that you need to work more than 2 hours a day, because if you're not going to work more than 2 hours a day, Hashem is going to be limited and he can only send you $20 a day, because that's what you make, $10 an hour. So if you work 2 hours, you're going to make $20 a day. If you work 4 hours, you're going to make $40 a day. Someone who thinks like this is a big Rasha. Big Rasha. He has no confidence in Hashem, and he doesn't understand about the way Hashem runs the world. Plus, he's ignorant, because what he's thinking is against the Torah. The Torah never say ever that if you're a genius, you're going to have more money. That if you have a master from Harvard, you're going to make more money. That if you're going to be healthier than your friend, you're going to make more money. If you be stronger, you make more money. If you be wiser, you're going to make more money. Where? Where does it say it? Where in history you ever saw one prophet or any book in Judaism that indicate that the more efforts you're going to make, the more money you're going to make? If any, it's exactly the opposite. The more efforts you put, you're hurting yourself. And that's what people don't understand. People who went to colleges and went to exams and another master and another degree and this and that and meetings and phone calls and working until midnight, flying around, and in the end they made $10 million. When they come to Shamayim, I promise you, Hashem tell them, you made 10 million, you could have made 20 million by working 1% of the time you work. Now what's the difference? Yes, you made your 10 million. You could have made it with investing almost nothing if you only had faith in me. And you know that what I promise, I'm going to keep my word. And then you would have also Torah. Now you only have 10 million, but you don't have Torah because you never had time to learn Torah. And what's the Torah say? לעולם יעשה אדם תורתו קבע ומלאכתו ארעי. There's an halacha. Every Jew must make the Torah and the mitzvot his life, the main thing of his life, and business as a secondary thing, not important. By the way, like a hobby, it's a secondary thing. Why? We have to put a little bit efforts. The Torah says you are going to make a very little effort, and I'm going to do the rest for you. We should know, I once told you, that's maybe the time to give you some of the stories that I told you in the last few years, for those who heard those stories in the past. Now it's the time to put them together. You may think that nature, it's nature. Logic is logic. We have to behave according to the laws of nature. What do you want from us? We know, for instance, if we're having a flight at 12 midnight on Motzei Shabbos, and we have to get from Monsey to Kennedy Airport, and now it's already 10:30, let's say, we might as well not leave. Why? By the time we get to Kennedy Airport, if we're lucky, it will be 10 minutes before the takeoff. By the time we go to security, by the time they open the suitcases and take our shoes off, and who knows what lines it's going to be, you're never going to make it to the plane. You have to be there 2 hours before or 3 hours before today. And you only left an hour and a half before the takeoff, and you have about an hour and a half ride. What's the point of leaving? Most Jews in the world would not leave. They'll call and ask when is the next flight. But however, I know one Rav, I told you once about him, he had exactly the same case. My friend is not here anymore, he's in Israel by now, but that story is more than 12 years ago. Midnight, he has a flight midnight, 12:30, that's the flight. Shabbos ends in Muncie, it's always later than Queens, at least by half an hour. So almost by the time you come out of shul, it's 10 o'clock. Especially this Rav praying very long prayer. And he's the last one who finished. Everyone already finished Havdalah at home, he's still in the shul praying. But he has a flight to catch. And he comes 7 months out of the year, he goes from one place to another, he's collecting money for his yeshiva. He has a yeshiva in Bnei Brak, 700 children. Very successful. He did a lot in his life, this person. So what happened? By the time he finished praying, by the time he gets home and he sits with his Havdalah, it's already 11 o'clock. He tells my friend, Benny, now we're ready to go. And this guy is very nervous. We're not going to make it. How are we going to make it? There's no way to make it. By the time we get to the airport, we're going to see the plane took off. So this guy, Benny, is thinking now I'm going to spend 3 hours of my time for nothing. So he said, Kvod Harav, why don't you call and postpone the flight? You know, there's no point of leaving. So he said, what are you, the new boss of this world? This is real now, real. It's not going to make a fool out of him. His time is also valuable. Are you the new boss of this world? So he said, well, what's the point of living? How are we going to make it? He said, if I have to be there tomorrow in Israel, then I'm going to be there. Why? I didn't sit here and drinking tea. I didn't go to sleep. I had to pray. I pray as usual. I have to do Havdalah. I do Havdalah as usual. Why? First comes the mitzvot. Later, if I have time to get to the plane, very good. If not, I'm going to stay another day. But that's already not in my territory. I'm not the new God here. I have obligations to do. I fulfill my obligation as I normally do. Now I'm finished. It's 11 o'clock. There is a 1% chance that I'm going to make it. That's it. The rest is not in my hand. This is the way he lives. This is the way he lives, this person, all his life. So they get on the road. I don't have to tell you the feeling if you're the driver. You know you're going to drive an hour and a half each direction for no reason. He's driving, trying to drive fast. At least maybe there's going to be a chance. So he tells him in the middle of the way, why are you rushing so much? It's dangerous the way you drive. Drive slow. Drive normal. You see, 55, don't drive too fast. So, Rav, we don't have a chance to get there. So drive normal. You don't understand. It's not in your hand or in my hand if I'm going to make it or not. We're only living according to what Hashem wants, not what we want. So now he tried to drive slow. They get to the terminal over there, El Al terminal. They go inside. I don't have to tell you now what's going on. The time of the takeoff is over a few minutes ago already. The plane supposedly took off. They come to the tellers over there, you know, the El Al, the desk. Nobody is there. Quiet, empty terminal. So my friend is standing watching his car that he won't get a ticket, and he sees, now should I drive? If I drive, how is he going to come back to Muncie? So I got to watch to see what's going on. So he's standing 1 foot inside, 1 foot on the street. And he sees that he's standing over there by the teller. He's not screaming. He's not calling anyone. He stands like this. Mamash, this is the story. He's telling me how it is. He stands like this and waits. So he gets very nervous now. He says, what's going on here? He runs inside. He goes, excuse me, anybody here? Then the lady comes out. It's written in the Torah, Melechet tzadikim naaset bidei acherim. If you're righteous, you don't have to make a beep. Everything will be done for you by servants. They're going to do the job for you. You'll see, I'll give you a few stories. You see how it proves it. So he screams. One lady comes out. Yes, can we help you? He said, yeah, he has a flight to Israel. He said, what do you mean, the flight? The plane took off already. What, now you arrive? Yes, we're religious, we come from Muncie. So she said, why you made a flight on Saturday night? It wasn't smart to do it if you couldn't make it. He said, listen, don't tell me now this. I'm only the driver. So it's over, should we go? He said, oh, let me double check. She goes inside, she brings another manager. He comes with a walkie-talkie. Yes, what can we help you? Yeah, he's for the flight. Hold on, let me see. He calls somebody, they speak. He said, yeah, you're lucky. The plane is standing on a track. There's other planes taking off, so there's a delay. The plane is standing there, ready to take off. So she said to the guy, but we gave his seat to the standby. So he says, he's standing all that time, he's not trying anything. Hey, maybe you push me anyway, I must be there, I have a wedding, I have a funeral. No lies, no nothing. He just stand there and wait. So in the end, they say, okay, let us see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. They call up something, the car comes in, they say, okay, sir, we're going to put you in business class, first class. Why? They give his place to somebody else. Now they're going to put him in first class. So they take him with the car, they bring the stairs with the car, you know, everything for him. They open up the plane. It's unbelievable. So this guy said, I've never seen in my life such a thing. And they put him in first class, and his suitcases are the first one who comes out. You know how it is. The last one who gets on the plane, his suitcases comes first. This is the story of this boy. He got on a plane, he gets to Israel. He gets on a plane, he gets to Israel. Another example, there was one time a story in a yeshiva. The Rav said to his student, we know that we have to trust Hashem to feed us. He feeds the bugs, he feeds the elephants, he feeds the Indian that bow down to Buddha. A minute later, Hashem is very angry at them for what they do. But a minute later, he supplied them with their steak and French fries. Who sent it to them? Hashem. Why he sent it to them? He's angry at what they just did. They bow down to idols. They asked for the parnasa for that statue. And Hashem is very angry, as the Torah says, and he supplies them with their food. Right? Kal vachomer to the Jews. So the Rav says, we're going to go today to the forest, and we'll see how we're going to manage without the cook, without the kitchen in yeshiva. If we're going to get food over there, if you have faith in Hashem, you're going to get your food. They get to the forest. Breakfast did not show up. Lunch did not come. It's already 4 in the afternoon. One student tells his friends, listen, this rabbi is old-fashioned. He's old-fashioned. It's 4 o'clock already, we never got breakfast. Where is Hashem sending us food here? Hashem is not sending us anything. Let's go back to the yeshiva, let's eat. We worry about ourselves. If we're going to depend on him, we'll starve here. Slowly, slowly, they snuck out and they got back to the yeshiva. They ate very well in the yeshiva. Now the guy told his friend, "Ve'ahavta l'racha kamocha." What about our friends? They're starving over there. Let's take the food with us. You bring the bread, I'll bring the pot, and let's bring food over there. So they came slowly. They put the food behind the Rav. The Rav was speaking to the student. They came behind him through the trees. They put it on the side. Slowly, slowly they went. They sat. After a few minutes, one guy got up and said, "Rabbi, you were right. Hashem sent us from Shamayim food. It's even hot. Look, steam comes out. Bread, everything." So the Rav was very happy. He started to dance. Hashem, you never let us down. Always, always you're there for us. And everybody's laughing. Nice show. A few days later, Friday, they speak. The Rav speaks about the parasha before Shabbat. The Rav said, I know there are 2 clowns here. They think they're smart. They went behind my back to the yeshiva to eat. Even though I said that if you're smart, you're going to stick to the Torah, you trust Hashem, and somehow the food will get right into your mouth. You don't have to put any efforts. You have to fulfill your obligation. The rest is not in your hand. We came to the forest, and they went and ate. They just don't know one thing. Because they are the only 2 here in this yeshiva that didn't have faith in Hashem. So what did Hashem do to them? Hashem used them to be our servants, to go get us the food. You understand how it works? מלאכת צדיקים נעשית בידי אחרים. If you and your friend, one have confidence and the other don't, Hashem will take the other and make your servant to serve you. He's going to run for you, he's going to drive for you, he's going to bring your car, he's going to take the things to the tailor. He's going to suggest, he's going to do it for you. Why? Because you had faith in Hashem and he doesn't. So one other thing we learn now, the more we have confidence, the more we're going to get. So we better hurry up to try to work on this confidence. One other thing is shidduchim. The most common problem in the Jewish world today is singles. So many thousands of guys older than 35 and girls never got married so far. Is it coincidence? Of course not. It's a punishment. It's not coincidence, it's a punishment for the way we behave. Since most of the people in the world are not modest, and the value of marriage went tremendously down, marriage is not worth what it used to worth, Hashem is not so anxious to make a lot of marriages. Why? 70% of the couples get divorced anyway. What's the big deal here? Maybe it's better not to. You know the joke that in Israel, when you go and register for the Rabbanut, you have two offices, one for marriage, one for divorce. So one rabbi was sitting over there reading Tehillim, so one couple came and said, hey, why don't you take a number in the next room? It will save you a lot of headache in the future. So they look at the sign, they say divorce office. So this is what you're wishing us? What kind of rabbi you are? They say, trust me, I'm not wishing you any bad. Statistics don't lie. 70 out of 100 couples who come smiling to this room, showing up within 4 years, crying to this room. The problem is that when they come, they have to start the process, which takes about 2 years. There's a line here. I'm offering you now to already register. You use it, fine. You don't use it, even better. But at least when you need it, you don't have to wait that long. Unfortunately, it's so right. So that's a problem. However, even though it's a curse, even though Hashem did it that way, even though of course we deserve it, because nobody gets something unless if he deserves it, if not from this life, then from his previous life, but he deserves it. En Yisurim belo chet, it's a rule in Judaism, you must believe in it. En Yisurim belo chet, nobody has to itch his head if he did not make a sin. If a person was 100% clean, he will never shake, he will never be cold, he will never sweat, he will never suffer any kind of suffering. Even looking for a coin, you're looking for a quarter and a dime came out, another minute until you found a coin to speak on a payphone, even that you wouldn't get. Every aggravation that you have in life, it connects to some kind of sin. A word, a curse, not waking up in the morning, not giving up tzedakah, not keeping Shabbat 100%, not having confidence in Hashem. This is all the sins, one after the other. So, if a person sees that he's already 35, 40, and he's not married, what's the solution? And only one. There's only one solution. Only one. If he's not going to have faith in Hashem, he's going to run from one shadchan to another, one office to another, running here, putting an ad there, making hundreds of phone calls, running around to single parties that they're fooling him constantly to take away his money. No matter what, nothing is happening. 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. I know so many of those 20 years attend to these single parties. 500 boys, 5 girls. That's how it is for 20 years. And the Satan is blinding him. He doesn't see anything. He doesn't see. You know what's the solution? There's only one solution. You lock yourself in a room, you read an hour or two the whole book of Tehillim, and you begin to cry. Hashem, I don't want to die single. I want to have a wife. I want to make mitzvah p'urvu. I'm begging you, don't leave me like this. That's the only way. And if this didn't help, then you know it's the best thing could have happened to you. That's the test in life. To die single, without children. Hashem doesn't need you to have children. You already fulfilled your p'urvu in your previous life. Now your life is about a different kind of life. If you beg and you did everything, you know that you did everything you could. Nothing else is in your hand. Of course, I'm not talking about someone who makes sins, making all kinds of sex crimes. Somebody like this, one little sin can postpone this shidduch by another 10 years. You have to understand. There's no, those people who think they're going to continue to live with their sin normally, and just by crying and praying every day, they're going to solve the problem. It's a big mistake. The first thing is sur mira. First of all, remove your way from the evilness, from the bad sins. And then va'aseh tov. Sur mira va'aseh tov. Now I'm going to give you a few examples from this great book that came out. The Rav, the Mechaber, in his introduction, this is what he writes. Pay attention. This book revived many people, made them happy, made them stronger. Sick people became healthy. Depressed people came back to life. People who lost their happiness in life are very happy today. Everybody who read that book testified that this book brought him peace of mind and energy, and he just could not leave the book for a minute from his hand. In many yeshivot, they decided to learn in this book almost every day, not almost, every day. Students, professors, even non-religious people testified that from all the books they read in their life, this was the book that they made the most impact on their life. It's simple, it's clear, it goes direct into the heart. Some of the most righteous rabbis of this generation says about this book that the spirit of Hashem is spilled in every page of it. And when you read it, it's like food for the soul. And it's reviving the soul. It's a big mitzvah to print it and spread it around and make sure that every Jew will get it. And the rule is like this: book that was blessed and everybody who read in it compromise it, whether he's young, whether he's old, in every corner of the world. Even Gentiles, Goyim, that read parts of it, because this book is in English as well, here in New York. It's called Garden of Emunah, for those who didn't understand which book I'm talking about. It's a mitzvah to read. It's a combination of all the sources of Emunah and confidence in Hashem from Jewish literature.